should have a MySpace page for the show.
From clarkwoods.com, this is horribly off topic. Episode number 93.
We don't have a title for it yet.
We don't have a title for it yet. Back in 1993, we could add a MySpace page, but that is not true.
No, we couldn't have.
No, we could add an AOL. Could we had an AOL page?
I don't
is that
even.
A thing?
Okay, so
it's
weird to think about like when certain things in the internet were stuff. Like I can remember using.
I can remember everything.
I can remember using my instant messenger, my AOL instant messenger, until about the time where I finished college.
Okay,
which was probably 2005.
Yeah, I had mine for a very long time as well, but it might even still have it.
I think mine still exists.
The login probably still works, but can you even download Instant Messenger anymore?
I don't know. I really don't.
We should have an AIM account for the show.
We could. So people can chat with us whenever we're on AIM.
I think I had AIM installed on a computer for about 10 years after everyone else stopped using AIM.
I think there was a time, like sometime, or I think it was probably a year or so, maybe 2012, 2013, I popped on to my instant messenger.
Yeah.
So I think I actually do have it on my computer.
Yeah.
And I popped on to see who was still there.
Yeah.
And no one I recognized.
No. I mean, I
think it was one of the guys that was the RA of my building in college, and I think that was it.
I think I started getting "Me Love You Long Time" messages, and then that was it. From
Asian women,
from like Pencil 69 42 35 C.
Just random
double D.
Random person that was also
just
on, not random, somebody that was on your list of folks.
Yeah, no, they were not on my list. Neither was a kiss.
And then so it's weird to think about it, but you never got into the Homestar Runner, but like that was like from the 2001 until like about maybe a year or so after I finished college. I think was when that was the thing to watch every Monday. Right. The new Strong Bad Email or whatever. Email. Which, if you have listened to our episode 52 spectacular, what the hell did we call it? I got it. Laden with Humdiddy.
That's right.
If you listen to episode 52, which was our year anniversary, because we didn't take a break.
That's right.
So normally a podcast would say, let's do 50 episodes a year.
No,
we did 52.
52. It's the meaning of life.
No, it was 42.
Well, I was like, I think it's in the range of the meaning of life, plus or minus 10.
Do you remember that scene in the Monty Python's The Meaning of Life?
When with the man who was eating a lot in the restaurant?
And he exploded.
Yes. I remember that one. I also remember there was one with a topless lady.
I remember
in like a really fancy bed. Yes? Am I wrong?
I
feel like that's the meaning of life.
I think that might have been a thing. All right, so I remember we had rented The Meaning of Life.
Yes.
Or no, I think maybe Kyle had it.
Oh, Kyle.
And I was trying to make a copy.
Kyle's name is something very funny when you say it backwards.
Yeah, I know.
But we won't hear on the show.
Yeah, okay. So, I had it, and we had two VCRs at home, like I imagine.
Oh, just two?
You had going, or maybe more.
We had two VCRs in every room, Steve.
So I was making a copy of it so I could have it. And so basically I had the VCRs going.
Yeah.
And so Kyle and I were hanging out playing video games in the other room.
Right.
And we had the TV off.
Yeah.
And it was taping the movie. And this was probably, I think, we were in 7th or 8th grade or something like that.
Yeah.
I think 8th grade. So we were 13 years old.
Sounds right.
And so it's a rated R movie.
Oh, and there's nothing better than a rated R movie when you're 13 years old.
At the end of the movie, or closer to the end. What?
Nothing. A rated X movie would be better when you're 13 years old.
Okay, I didn't catch it. I did not.
No. I was like, nah. Do we want to go down that path? That's why I was thinking maybe I should just forget that I said it.
So that's going. And of course my dad comes home and turns on the television to the part close to the end of the movie when like there's a part where a guy is chosen the way he's going to die, and he's being chased by women in like just topless, wearing like little short shorts, running after him with bouncing boobies. And of course that's the part.
Are the boobies is he meant to die by like a boobie smacking him in the face?
No, he jumps off a cliff.
These to avoid the boobies.
I guess. I don't know.
That's like a shitty way to die.
Yeah, it's a shitty way to die, and like I don't know why like he wouldn't have picked a better way than that.
I mean, asphyxiation between the boobies.
Yeah, if you're gonna suffocate, then yeah, I guess between boobies is the way to go.
Asphyxiation. I've heard. I mean, when you drown, aren't you sort of? Isn't it asphyxiation?
No, when you're drowning, your lungs are filled with water.
Right, but you can't breathe, which is asphyxiation, right?
I don't know the particulars. I'm not a science person.
I've gotten the impression that when you die...
What am I, Caesar Clown suffocating Luffy?
No. I had... Oh, wait, I forgot to drink. Okay. No, so I got the impression that when you die of asphyxiation, when you die of anything where oxygen basically cuts off from your brain, once you get past the initial... So, like, once you get past the initial, your lungs filling up with water or whatever, that the actual sensation of dying from asphyxiation is not that bad. So if you get to choose your way to die, then asphyxiation between boobs, I don't think is a bad way to go.
All right, let's just mark that on your notepads. Everybody that's taking score, that's the way Chris wants to die.
I can think of worse ways.
Okay,
many. The guillotine.
I think actually the guillotine would be pretty merciful, as long as it does. As long as it makes it all the way through.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because if you get like half a head cut off, like the John Cleese in the Harry Potter movies,
nearly headless Nick.
Yeah.
All right, that's a sad. Pour one out for Nicholas de Mimsy Poppington.
Was that his name?
That was his name. But I mean, what about? I think Anne Boleyn. She died the French style, like French cut green beans. No, that's not. No, but I was always. I remember the first time I read. I was about to watch the incredibly historically accurate The Tudors, the Showtime series about the reign of Henry VIII. Which I mean, I'm just here to say that if you're studying history, there is no better series to watch to basically not have to read your history books. Just there's your advice from Uncle
sense
Chris.
There's a bit, and I don't know if you're spreading it on too thick, that it's
like butter scraped over too much bread.
Yeah, so it's very historically accurate.
Very historically accurate. I remember looking it up before I got to that climactic episode where Anne Boleyn gets her head cut off. That I wanted to understand what the deal was with Anne Boleyn, and it was something about rather than having her head on a block.
Head on, apply it directly to the forehead. Head on. Apply directly to the forehead. Head on. Do you remember that one? I used to see that ad when I watched Jeopardy.
I do not. Oh, yes. Yes. So her head would be directly on her forehead. No, her head would be on the block. No, if she were not dying in the French style. I think the French style was you were on your knees and the person took out a sword instead of an axe. If your head's on the block, it's an axe, and they chop your head. Right. This is before the guillotine, or at least the guillotine wasn't in England because fuck the French. But the way that Anne Boleyn chose to die was she was on her knees, and there was a swordsman, and he just he was really good aim, I guess, and then just lopped her head right off.
I don't know.
I think that would be a less pleasant way to die than being suffocated between breasts.
I don't know. I heard that like drowning or suffocating is like more painful and more excruciating than one swift stroke removing your head.
I don't know. I like my head
as much as I like boobs. Like I don't know.
But I don't know. I can't.
How did this get so dark so quickly?
I have no idea. How does anything happen, Steve?
By pure will, I suppose. Will of the D.
The law of thermodynamics.
I'm jamming them in. I am jamming them in today.
Jamming them in like your head between two breasts.
Yes.
Suffocating.
All right, so what's on the list?
What's on the list? Your kiss.
No.
No?
It better not be on your fucking list.
No, so it's the 8th of May.
Yes.
It's the 8th of May, which means that Cinco de Mayo was a few days ago. It was 3 days ago.
Yes, I didn't get to go out for Cinco de Mayo.
For Cinco de Mayo. For Drinko de Mayo.
What is 6 and
Seis.
Seis. So Seis de Mayo.
Seis de Mayo doesn't have enough. Syllables.
So, well, on the 6th of May, I had my physical.
Yes.
So I went in. I went in early.
And the reason you couldn't go out on Cinco de Mayo is because
well, yeah, I mean, I could have gone out and had,
but if you have a
copious amount of alcohol,
yeah.
the day before my physical, but I chose
not to.
I chose not to.
You chose wisely.
Yeah. So my doctor isn't like, why do you?
Your doctor isn't like the Knight Templar in the Temple of Doom who hands Han Solo the right cup.
I thought that was the Last Crusade.
So your doctor, you wanted to impress your...
I wanted to impress him by my...
My goal this week is to have somebody punch their iPod. Just punch it. They just like Chewy.
All right, so I didn't want to impress my doctor. I wanted to have
that don't impress me much.
I wanted to walk up to him and I wanted him to not smell that I reeked of tequila or anything like that. And so, or Dos Equis or Tecate if I'm feeling extra cheap.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I think that was the goal, and it was achieved. But I got there like, okay, so when I could have gone earlier to get my blood work done on a different day.
Right.
But it's not convenient. So I went that morning. And so they want you to fast before you. So I wanted to go there as early as possible.
Yeah.
So I was laying in bed for a certain amount of time. And I got up and I was ready to go. And then I took a banana with me, so after I had after I had my blood work, I could eat the banana and not be starving.
You didn't bring a banana to put it in a tailpipe.
No, I put it in my pocket, and then while she was drawing my blood, I said, "It's a banana."
It's not nice to see you.
Yeah. Terrible person. Just took blood out of me, for Christ's sake.
Oh, she poked you.
See, I'm one of those people that gives blood whenever they remember to, or if there's a blood drive near where I am. Yeah. Like, especially if it's like they used to have it at my old work.
Yeah. And
I'm like, ooh, I get to have like an hour out of like being at my desk.
Right.
And I'm helping somebody. It's a win-win.
Win-win.
So
not just helping yourself.
Yeah. So, and they gave me a free shirt and a cookie, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah. Oh, cookie.
You've never given blood before?
Never given blood.
What's your blood type?
I'm pretty sure I'm a universal donor.
So you're O negative.
I'm either O negative or O positive.
Well, O negative is universal donor.
Right. That's why I'm pretty sure I'm O negative, and I think Stephanie's O positive.
Okay. But I'm not positive about it. So yeah, you should definitely donate blood if you can. And
I can't. I'm terrified of needles.
Well, just don't look. That's actually the needle part isn't the problem. It's it's watching blood exit my body that I have a problem with. So like regardless of the amount, because like I remember like one of the times I gave blood, I was just sitting there and I had filled up the bag and I did it really quick. She's like, wow, that filled out faster than anybody recently.
And that's what she said.
That's impressive. Yes. She was talking about my cock. She, on the other hand, that was taking my blood the other day.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Didn't
no,
fill up at all.
No. Oh, Poor thing.
I'm kidding. Jesus Christ.
Kidding.
So we...
the blood just wasn't flowing that day.
Probably not.
No.
If I had gotten an erection, I might have passed out. Impressive cock I have, apparently. So I filled the bag up, so it was done. And then basically what they do afterwards is they take a couple samples.
Yeah.
To make sure that you don't have like HIV or anything, which I think is smart on their part.
That is
to
smart
make
on
sure
their
if you're before you give someone a blood transfusion, make sure that the person's blood that you're checking isn't tainted with a virus that could possibly kill them.
Somebody famous in the 80s or early 90s died because of AIDS they contracted from a blood transfusion.
I don't know if it was somebody famous, but I think there was somebody famous because of that. Somebody can email us and tell us we're wrong because we've been that a lot lately, especially about history. But I think they became famous because they got HIV because of a blood transfusion.
Okay, I thought it was the other way around. Or maybe there's both.
Yeah, maybe a little column A, a little bit column B.
A little bit of column B.
But yeah, so when I was watching her take the little bit of blood out. Like at the end, I was like, and I went, I calmed out.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, you okay? They always flip out. I'm like, this has never happened to you before.
Like you've never had
you just took
out.
You took like, basically how many? Okay, so a gallon.
Yeah.
A gallon
if they took a gallon out of you.
No, they didn't. They don't take a gallon, but a gallon weighs at about 8 pounds.
That sounds
there's
about
4
right.
quarts in a gallon and 2 pints to quart. So that means they took a pound of blood out of me.
A pound of blood. That sounds like a vampire novel. Like maybe like a vampire fanfic of somebody who isn't a vampire. A pound of blood. Like something about I don't know, something about like Edward from Harry Potter. And he is like,
I don't remember Edward.
Yeah, no, he's the one who he dies. He's the spare, Edward from Harry Potter. And he's
saying Ed Wood.
Yes, that one too. Edward from Harry Potter.
I'm just gonna let you drown in whatever it is.
He's drowning in a pound of blood that he's drained from Hermione. Yeah. Yeah, because they
like it when you go off script.
Because they got going and then they did things, because there's always things happening with preteens on sets like that. We'll find out eventually. Like I don't know who the Screech of like the Harry Potter cast is, but that person's gonna write.
It's Neville Longbottom.
Maybe, but Neville turned out to be kind of a good-looking dude. And
what about Screech?
Screech never.
He's got an impressive piece, though.
He does.
You never saw Screech?
To who? Oh, I did not.
It was a little bit of a porno. It was very girthy.
Did he make it with people that looked like Jesse Spano and Kelly
No, it was
Kapowski?
more of like a leaked sex tape.
Screeched.
But it was one of those, you could tell it was intentionally.
Yes, intentionally, like all of them.
Yes. Well, some of them, like the first one would be the Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson there. I think that one was legit, like
Methods of Mayhem.
But the trick is, like, don't you have to have like each of the people involved sign off before
you have to sign
release
release forms?
Yes.
Yeah.
Before something
That's
like
what she
that
said.
can be, because this is like when that was released, it was pre way too much
forms.
Way too much free porn on the internet.
It's true. Do you ever seek that one out? Do you ever watch that one?
What, the Pamela Lee one? Yeah, I did.
I think I saw bits and pieces. I don't think I saw the whole thing.
Yeah, well,
I don't think I saw enough to get released.
But there's like, I think I watched a good portion of it. And it's a lot of it is not sex.
Yeah.
And it's very boring.
A lot of it is him driving the speedboat with his penis, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
With it wrapped around the steering wheel.
Oh my God. Really?
No.
I didn't see that part.
Christ, dude.
So
it's like when I drive with my leg.
Yeah. So was that another one?
What?
Driving with your leg. Was that another One Piece reference?
No, why would that be?
I don't know.
It's a show about pirates.
I've never watched.
Why would they be driving?
They could have their leg wrapped around the whatever the wheel is. There's a wheel on a pirate ship.
Yeah, but
what is that thing called? The mast?
No, the mast
stern?
is the. Who?
It's called the bow.
Stop it.
The port.
Okay, so I'm at I got my blood taken. I ate my banana, and I go in to where my doctor's office. I'm like an hour early because I went there so early to get my blood drawn, so I wouldn't, be
sometimes people get released
anymore.
early. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
So I go there, and they're like, I guess they had a little window opening to have me go in early.
Yeah.
And so they had me go in, they yelled at me for being fat, and then of
As
course,
they do, yeah.
But otherwise my vitals were good. I got the old ball check. I got the
Did you get the fingers up the ass?
I did not. He said I didn't have to do that until I was 50, and I was like, oh,
I'm not yet 50. I think I've had the fingers up the ass at least twice.
oh well, you have a different doctor.
Yeah.
So when he told me that, he says, we won't do prostate today, and I'm like, I'm not upset about that. And he just started laughing. And, but the thing is, like, I don't know if this is, and I'm not going to say the race of the person that is my doctor. I'm going to let everyone else out there be racist. But when he was asking me to do things like, when he was performing like the physical, like, doing the reflex tests and whatnot,
knocking your knees.
He was singing. Like, he wasn't necessarily singing, but he was saying them in a sing-songy way.
The things that he was doing, or the organs that he was testing?
No. He was just basically whenever he would ask me to perform a function as part of the physical, or move your hand here and la 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 la, and it was just the same sort of sing-songy way.
Okay.
And so anybody out there, if you want to be racist, send us an email and try to figure out what race this person was.
They're a merman. They sing under the sea.
Merman.
Like
Arlong?
I had something. It's gone. It's gone. Aquaman.
Is he a bird person?
I heard he was the Khal Drogo. That's what I heard. The Aquaman.
Did you watch the new season?
Oh, we didn't. That's not on the list.
Let's not talk about it.
We could
because
talk about
people may not have watched it yet. So
yeah. Oh my goodness,
Game of Thrones this season, which is like they're off. They are literally
off the reservation.
They are off script. There's no book they're basing this on. They're like, let's go hog wild.
Yeah. I
imagine George R. Martin has something to do with.
I would
production.
imagine he's given them like the blessing on certain plot points. I can't imagine that the big plot points will be that different from the books, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe George R.R. Martin will die before he even finishes them, which means we'll get an extra like 6 if it's anything like Robert Jordan.
I actually was talking to somebody last night, and there may be a Wheel of Time something in the future. Because like there was that thing that happened last year, or might have been the year before, where it's like basically the prelude or the first chapter in the first book, which is basically dealing with the Kinslayer and what
not the Kingslayer,
Kinslayer,
the plagiarist. That's his next one.
What are you talking about?
The Kinslayer.
Robert Jordan's books were
Jordan Stevenson
were out way before George R.R. Martin's. Like I think the first Wheel of Time was out in the mid '80s, not the late '80s. I think.
Yeah.
Ladies. So. Yeah, I had a little sing-songy physical, and then I went and had a diner breakfast, which was awesome.
Which of course is to make up for fasting.
I was so freaking hungry. I had pancakes, I had sausage, I had bacon, I had eggs, and home fries. Went to the Dream Diner in Tingsboro, Massachusetts.
Right down the street from where there used to be a gentleman's club.
Yes, where we had your bachelor party.
Where we did.
Which we already talked about before, and we don't need to talk about again.
No. Although it was 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yep.
That is fucked.
Yeah, it is really fucked.
It's weird that, like, even 15 years ago, I was old enough to go to a strip club.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad.
That does make me sad. It was longer than that because the first. We're not talking about.
So what's on the list?
What's on the list?
Let's get off. Let's get back on topic.
7 de Mayo. We never finished. Well, you. So we talked about 6 de Mayo.
Yes.
And then 7 de Mayo was the next day.
Yes. And Becky and I went to a party at her friend's house. We had some tacos. We had some margaritas.
Did you have the best Taco Bell in America from Trump Towers?
No. Is that what he said?
That is what he said.
Did he get a burrito bowl?
Best Taco Bells. No, he had like a taco. He had a taco bowl in a bowl on top of a
taco
plate.
Bowl.
Taco bowl.
What's a taco bowl?
It's like
I know a burrito bowl, but what's a taco bowl?
Maybe it's a burrito. Maybe it's the same damn thing. I don't know, but it's like a hard taco like
that's a taco salad.
I guess. He said taco bowl. I think that's what he said.
Don't look it up. Who gives a shit if he said taco bowl or burrito bowl?
You're talking about the presumptive nominee for the Republican Party of the United States of America.
I can't believe that we've gotten to this point.
I can. I've been saying it all along.
I just don't get it. I mean, is this I was listening to Bill Burr's podcast the other day, and he was talking about is this Clinton money that's doing this?
That's getting Trump to be
that is getting Trump in there because Bernie Sanders fought a good goddamn fight.
Yeah,
and they probably had the Clintons shitting their pants, but
there's still a path.
There's still an obstacle, and it's the Republican nominee, and so therefore she's like, well, Trump's donated to us before. Let's get him in there because he's not gonna win against me. What do you think?
Everyone keep on thinking that.
It's Hillary. She wanted him there. I don't doubt for a goddamn second that she did not want him there.
Oh, I'm sure. And when she loses to him, she's going to regret it. But
shut your goddamn mouth.
Phase 3. This is Devin Ferresi.
Do you want to talk about Brian's email now that we're talking politics? Might as well do a nice
we
segue.
should get into email. Yeah, well, I guess we can pause on Siete de Nueve.
Well, you changed the subject.
I know. Well, I brought up I brought up the fucking taco bowl, and you didn't want to believe me, and
just read. As usual, you guys are morons. No, wait.
That is pretty close. From Brian. This is the first of 2 email. Well, we'll see if we get to the other one. From Brian. Subject, favorability. Hey guys, as usual, so you're right so far.
As usual, you guys are fucking morons.
Chris didn't do any research, and now
We never do any research, Brian. We are not library folk like you.
And now I, the librarian, has to give you some. He wants
to give you some.
Here are some poll numbers. Also, yes, I realize all of this information is from Vox. I don't have time or energy to find a broad base of information and cross-references. At least they cite their sources. Obama's favorability rating is better than it's been in a while.
Mic drop.
That's most likely because when you look at the candidates, you realize how well you got it. Right, yes. And Brian's provided a couple of links here that we'll put in the show notes.
Thanks, Brian.
Also, while we are at it, it doesn't matter whether or not Johnny Lunchpail likes him or not. He's, and I think that means Obama, one of the most consequential presidents in history despite Republican gridlock opposition, which would have happened with or without Obamacare. Another link. Next, America doesn't love Trump. I said this before, but it's Republican primary voters. And even more interestingly, there's a huge split within Republicans between your traditionally conservative voter and your authoritarian voter. And he has the worst favorability in national polls of any candidate ever. Ever! The second worst.
Ever!
The second worst.
Never! Remember that episode of Rocko's Modern Life where
No.
Mr. Bighead kept on coming out and going, never! Never! Watch it. It's a good show.
The second worst
Oh, God.
is Hillary Clinton.
Oh, wow.
Keep up your head-exploding rants. We will. We have already, I'm sure.
Well.
Presumptive nominee.
Well, he's a great, great American and a great person.
Great American hero. Greatest
yeah.
American hero.
No, that was that guy with the curly hair that crashed into the wall.
Yes.
Because he
I think
didn't
it's
know how to
Robert
work the
Redford.
suit. What?
It looks a little like Robert Redford, doesn't he?
He, I guess, maybe a little bit.
You know,
He was in The Winter Soldier.
he wasn't the Winter Soldier.
He was the bad guy. Spoilers.
Fucking spoilers
Whatever. Like,
for
if I had heard
for a 3-year-old, no, 2-year-old.
If I had heard that movie, or if he was the bad guy in the movie, like yesterday, I would not be upset. So people need to fucking quit it with being
Chill
upset
with their
about-
spoilers.
People just need to fucking stop being upset. Except for me, I can be upset whenever I want, especially about traffic and stupid assholes.
And Jon Snow.
And Jon Snow, who could happen to
Be dead.
He's probably dead.
Totally dead.
So we're at we got up there, we had some tacos and some fun,
Yeah.
and we were drinking, and we got a piñata,
Oh.
and we had her friend's child fill it, and also he got to take the first couple of swings at it, because
very nice.
piñatas are more for kids than they are for adults,
This is true.
especially
Unless they're filled with alcohol. In which case they're not for
with
kids.
like fluid.
Oh, yeah.
so-
You've never had a piñata filled with alcohol?
I can imagine if they were plastic nips,
No, not
that
good.
would work.
I think
but-
you fill it up with you get the little bladder from a box of wine. You put that inside the donkey, and
I'm a donkey.
and you just hit it with the bat.
Donkey, it's me, the Shrek man.
And
It got worse over 1 week to the next.
and you get to see which of your conservative uncles is most the lush by who is like sitting there underneath the alcoholic piñata, waiting for the thing to burst open.
Or you could just put plastic nips in there, and then people could fill their pockets with them, like so many Milky Way midnight dark, whatever the heck they're called.
So many. So there was a piñata.
There was a piñata, and so basically we had the two, I think they were 3 or 4 years old children swinging at it, and that took an enormously long amount of time.
Yeah,
The
kids
So
are
this
really
wasn't-
shitty at hitting piñatas. I gotta say,
It wasn't hanging from a tree or anything. We had this indoors, and it was being held by a tall man. And I'm very surprised. Honestly, I'm shocked that he was not hit in the groin. And
that's pretty much the way it happens. If you ever watched a Hollywood movie, and we all know that Hollywood movies are.
I mean, there
pretty
was a
accurate.
couple of close calls, but he was on his toes there.
I mean, this is Chevy Chase. He gets hit right in the nuts a couple times.
This is crazy. So yeah, he didn't get hit in the crotch, and then eventually he got tired of holding it. And he put it down on the ground, and that's when the fun started. This little boy just went to fucking town on this thing.
Oh yeah.
He bashed it until it burst open.
Yeah.
And then once it did, he started tearing it apart. Stop patronizing me with your...
No, I didn't mean that one to be patronizing.
I'm interested in what you're saying,
I
Steve.
didn't mean that one to be
I
patronizing.
may have heard this story earlier today, but I'm going to pretend that I'm hearing it for the first time.
I was trying to think of something clever to say.
Yes, please continue.
I think it only seemed patronizing because I was also rubbing my beard at the same time.
Yes, interesting. Child beating that, and it was shaped like a bull. That's important because he tore off one of the bull's horns.
So a bull, not a bowl.
Bull, like with a nose ring.
With a nose ring.
Bull.
Nose ring.
Moosey.
Too much for Steve Rogers.
I called him Moosey.
Do you remember that moment?
What?
Too much for Steve Rogers. He couldn't go for the girl with the nose ring.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's too much.
Maybe
he's like
date,
90 years old.
Maybe he'll date that secret agent that lives down the hall.
When I'm 90 years old, or 99 or however, I hope I look like Chris Evans. That's all I'm saying.
Well, he's a beefcake.
Yeah, a little bit.
On your left. So he pulls off one of the bull's horns, and then he starts ripping the bull's legs off.
Oh my goodness.
Like there was no candy in there.
Yeah.
There was no treat because he filled the damn thing. He knew where the goddamn candy was.
Not in the bull. Not a bull.
It wasn't in the bull's foot. And yeah, and it was like, it was funny at first, like seeing this little boy like beating the shit out of this like inanimate object, but then it got kind of started to get real, and I'm like, where is this anger coming from? Why is this 4-year-old so angry at this thing that is? And I was like, wow.
I mean,
maybe do we all have that in us?
Is it like the lizard brain? It's
maybe.
Like we all.
He needs to tear apart a bull and then eat it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's that part of us that like
eat the Laffy Taffy inside.
It's because we're predators, and if we get hit with the right kind of stuff, I'm trying to make a fucking Zootopia reference. It's not going to happen.
Oh,
spoilers for Zootopia. The predators can get hit with bad stuff, and they turn into they revert back into their predator selves.
Well, predator zones are a lot more powerful than other ones. Jamming them in.
Jamming them in there. So what kind of candy?
There was like, we had fruity candy and like Nerds and Laffy Taffy and Sweet Tarts.
Okay.
We had that bag, and then we had the Snickers, Milky Ways, and Twix.
Do you need both Snickers and Milky Way?
What?
I mean, if you have one, do you need the other? Like, do you need both Snickers and Milky Way? Isn't like Almond Joy and Mounds?
Well, yeah, one's got nuts, one doesn't.
Right.
But the thing is, like a Snickers is different as far as
Snickers has nuts.
There's the nougat is different.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I've never had a Snickers because I don't like nuts.
It's just nuts and caramel and chocolate. Maybe the Milky Way has nougat and caramel and chocolate.
I think that's right. So what does Snickers have? Snickers is nuts and caramel.
I don't know. There might be some nougat in there too. Yeah. We don't have any here, so I can't.
I don't like nuts like in my candy.
What?
I don't.
Like a Baby Ruth or a.
No, if it has nuts in it, I'm done. Like.
Really? So what is your candy bar of choice?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Well, that has a nut in it.
No. It has peanut butter.
Well, that's made from nuts.
Yes, but it's not a nut.
Okay, so you just not like the texture of the nut in your mouth?
No. As a matter of fact, I don't like the texture of a nut in my mouth. It's something about having a nut between my teeth, and just sort of like rolling it around on my tongue. It just doesn't. Wait, am I saying something funny?
No, not at all.
I've never gotten used to the feel of a bunch of nuts on my tongue. I can't. I
can't speak from experience here.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with people who like nuts in their candy bars. It's just,
All right, so piñata aside. It was a fun evening.
Siete nueve diez? No, ocho. Cinco.
Today's ocho.
Ocho cinco.
Isn't it ocho? Yeah.
Today is ocho.
8.
Yeah.
8 de Mayo. And
Ocho de
when
Mayo.
we release this, it'll be 9 de Mayo.
Nueve
de Mayo.
Nueve de Mayo.
So we're just naming...
Diez. 11, 12, 13, 14. Why?
What?
Okay. Somebody out there has done the research on this, and I'm just trusting.
Obviously not us, because we never do.
At the beginning of a U2 song, I forget the name of the U2 song.
With or without you?
No. He says, uno, dos, tres, catorce, and then which is 1, 2,
oh, that's that one
3.
That's like, hello.
Yeah.
Something, I'm some sort of dick and stuff.
1,
I'm
2,
gonna preach to you about doing stuff.
3, 14. That's what he said. He's saying 1, 2, 3, 14.
Maybe he's just messing with you, Chris.
I've never. I mean, Bono has never been one to mess with me.
I hate Bono. I just don't like him.
How do you feel about The Edge or Larry or
I don't like the band
guy?
U2 at all. Some people can swear by them, and good for you guys. I feel about U2 the way Brian feels about AC/DC.
Oh, interesting. So, like, if I just started going dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
I
don't know if it's the music that annoys him. I think it's probably the way that that these songs are sang.
Bon
might
Scott.
be Bon Scott might just annoy.
Might be a trigger.
Warning?
Like on a love gun.
That is Kiss.
Oh, sorry. Trigger on a revolver.
Yeah, so that was a fun little thing. We played this You Don't Know Jack drawing game.
It's been a long time since I've heard You Don't Know Jack. Speaking of, we talked. AOL was at the beginning of the show, not in the thing before the show.
It was in the beginning of the show.
Was it on AOL? I don't know. I used to love playing me some You Don't Know Jack.
We had a good. It was fun, but the thing is, like, we were playing this drawing portion where it gave you a word or phrase you're supposed to draw on your phone because technology has made the game more different, more gooder. So we're playing it on the Xbox One, but everybody was using their phone as a controller to draw shit on.
Yeah, they're still rocking the Xbox One. I mean, haven't there been like 4 or 5 since then?
Xbox One is the new one. Because they're trying to confuse you.
Mission accomplished. They're the Bono of the video game industry.
Why is he confused?
Uno, dos, tres, catorce.
1, 2, 3, 14.
So the Xbox 14 coming out next.
Yes. I don't know. Like, I really don't know what the future of console gaming is going to be. Because I keep on hearing things.
You're putting your pundit hat on right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Steve's. I see. Oh, that's a fine looking hat Steve's putting on right now.
Thank you. And it's just I don't know how much better graphics we can get. What's the fucking point anymore?
VR.
Because I think there's a definite rift.
Teledildonics.
What?
I'm just saying, what's the point? That's I think that's where it's going. Teledildonics.
But that's not video games, though. That's not something that should be supported by the Nintendo Corporation.
You can't imagine Mario in that scenario.
What, with a dildo?
Yeah, you're playing Mario and
you're railing the princess, basically.
Well, yeah, only if she wants to.
Or because you need to have consent.
Absolutely.
In the Mario games.
Yes.
You definitely couldn't be playing as Bowser trying to.
No. Does Bowser have a wife?
I don't think
so. Does Bowser have a special lady friend?
Well, he does have several children, so.
Yeah. Well, he could have adopted them.
Yeah, I guess, but
it could be foster children from the Koopa Kingdom. Because all the mothers and all the mother and daddy Koopas he's murdered, he's just taken in all their kids.
Perhaps, but I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to talk to somebody at the Nintendo headquarters to figure out how Bowser's kids were sired.
Yeah. It's an
He's
interesting
got
question.
7 of them because there's there's 8 levels.
Are Koopas? Are Koopas a sort of an asexual race where they can he doesn't even need a partner, he can just create
just shed
children.
them off of his
he pulls a spike off his shell and he sort of massages it a little bit and shapes it into an egg and
he's like, you're a Lemmy Koopa now.
Yeah, maybe that's how it happens. I mean, who says everything has to involve sex, Steve?
Yeah, man.
So you don't know where console gaming is going?
I don't.
Yeah.
Apparently, you think it's everybody just fucking through.
Everybody's
fucking
right
through
there.
VR headsets.
I think that's the natural end point of pretty much every technology.
Just
people fucking.
Well, I mean,
it's actually the starting point. I mean, that's how the internet gets to be. When the internet
bring up sex robots again because that will get us back to this email that we have postponed. And actually, I was watching an episode of Buffy.
If that's where we want if we want robotics to develop, we need robotics to the internet develop because of sex. I mean, it's a thing. VCRs won. VHS won because of pornography, right?
Well, I guess I don't know if that's but
technology follows. Porn follows sex. So if we want robotics to succeed, we should be investing in sex robots.
Obviously. I'm way on board for that. You don't have to convince me. All right, so I was watching an episode of Buffy, and there was a robot in it, played by the late great John Ritter. And he was
may he rest in peace.
He was a fucking asshole in this particular episode.
Oh, was he really?
He fucking gave Buffy a backhand you could write home.
Holy shit. John Ritter?
Yeah, John Ritter.
Jack Jack Tripper?
Jack Tripper comes in.
Jack
he's
Tripper himself.
He was a robot, and I was like, and so I started asking Becky a question. I'm like, does this character come back? Like is this how they get the prototype for what you sent in the email? And she's like, no, not at all.
Missed opportunity.
And I'm like, it was just one of those one-off episodes where it's just Buffy fights a robot John Ritter after cheating at mini golf.
Wait, John Ritter cheats at mini golf, or Buffy does?
Buffy does, because she's a rebel.
Buffy, the Winter Soldier.
All right, you're gonna read this.
Yes,
we're starting it over.
We're starting it over.
You can skip the part.
Yeah, we can skip the part we already read.
Bell.
So there was a part we already read in a previous.
Let's start with unlike the artificial intelligent robots of Ex Machina.
Unlike the artificially intelligent robots of Ex Machina,
I just said that.
The Whedonverse tackled the subject of a limited intelligence, sex-only robot in 2001 in season 5 episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer called "I Was Made to Love You," and again with the creation of the Buffy bot later in the season.
I am not going to sing the song again as much as I wanted to.
In I Was Made to Love You, a strange and beautiful girl called April arrives in Sunnydale, seeking her mysterious boyfriend, Warren. Buffy and the Scooby Gang realize that April is a robot searching for her creator. Come to find out, the April bot is designed to be the perfect girlfriend and devoted everything to Warren. It becomes apparent that Warren created April with one idea in mind. Well, to quote Xander, quote, "She's a sex bot. I mean, what guy doesn't dream about that? Beautiful girl with no other thought than but to please you? Willing to do anything?" Looks at Buffy and the girls. Too many girls.
Eventually. That was a pretty good line read, I'd imagine. I think you could have played Xander.
I could have been a contender.
Yeah.
Could have been an actor. Could have been a baller if I was a little bit taller.
Keep reading.
Eventually, we discover that... Wait, I have a thing about me and acting. I'm not going to get into it. Eventually, we discover that when Warren programmed April with no other desire than to please him, she became too clingy, too eager to please, too much to handle.
So basically, men want women to be a little bit more aloof.
Which caused Warren to seek actual human contact in his hometown, leaving April alone miles away in a dorm room with one thing on her mind: sex with Warren. But first, she had to find him, inevitably causing destruction in the process. Quote, "You are one creepy little dweeb," unquote. Buffy. Warren goes on to be a big bad in season 6, shooting people and killing a beloved character. And that's not all.
What?
Spike builds a sex toy. The original Buffy bot was built by Warren as a sex toy for Spike, who at the time had developed an obsessive attraction for Buffy. Ooh. Therefore, the Buffy bot was initially programmed to be in love with Spike and to do anything to please him. Quote, "The original Buffy bot was programmed with a behavior very similar to Warren's robotic girlfriend, April. She had a very distinctive, cheery demeanor when interacting, and her dialogue often consisted of praising Spike, though she did it in a more explicit way than April did to Warren. Ooh. This type of praise was formed to meet Spike's desires. She would claim to have an attraction based on his dangerous side while openly adhering to her slaver duties.
Slayer, not slaver.
Slaver? Oh,
it's just your damn printer cut off the bottom.
My printer fucked it up. While openly adhering to her slayer duties, happily stating, "Isn't it a beautiful night for killing evil things?" The Buffy bot, on the whole, seemed to possess a limited general knowledge, as when she claimed she didn't sleep with Spike, but she had sex with him. Unquote. Eventually, Spike fell in love with the real Buffy, who took his toy away when she realized what it was. When Buffy died at the end of the season, spoilers, the Scooby Gang reprogrammed...
she already died in a previous episode, too.
Oh, okay. She just dies a lot.
Yeah.
When Buffy died at the end of the season, the Scooby Gang reprogrammed the Buffy bot to trick demons into believing she was still alive, but it was clear the robot was no substitute for the real human being. And there's the lesson, kids. Build a sex robot and you'll have fun for a little while, but then people will die.
Yes, we will eventually die and be in hopefully our world will be taken over by intelligent robots.
But the robots won't die.
Right.
So, as Steve thinks it would be nice to have a bot say, quote, "Please come inside me, sir."
Did I say that?
No. It would have sounded a little bit more like, "Please come inside me, sir."
No one wants to have sex with Siri. I imagine
I imagine Siri would make it sound a little bit better than that. I think.
"Hi, Steve. Please come inside me."
So as Steve thinks it would be nice to have a bot say that, I provide these quotes from the Buffy bot.
I'm playing Spike.
Okay. All right.
Okay, here we go. Was that your best Slayer?
No.
Why not? I'm Australian.
I want to hurt you, but I can't resist the sinister attraction of your cold and muscular body.
Okay, that was it. Next one.
All right, should I do the next one more robot-like or less robot-like?
More Buffy-like.
More Buffy-like. I've never seen an
more
episode
Sarah
of Buffy.
Michelle Gellar.
Okay. You're evil.
And that excites you?
It
It's like the
me.
episode, like I had seen an episode a couple of times before with this other vampire slayer, and she had the worst. Like I thought she might have been Irish at some point, I thought, but Jamaican at others, and it was just terrible. She's like, "I'm the vampire slayer."
Okay.
She was really bad.
It excites me. It terrifies me. I try so hard to resist you, and I can't.
Yeah.
Darn your sinister attraction.
Are you afraid of me? No, I've gone to Irish. I'm the slayer.
Yes. Oh, Spike, devour me.
All right. Crikey. Bloomin' onion.
Spike, I can't help myself. I love you.
You're mine, Buffy.
Should I start this program over?
No programs. Don't use that words. Just be Buffy.
God. And there's a link that Becky very generously provided to us that we will include in the show notes. And there's an afterthought that she was identifies when she was born, which would technically be in the period that would classify as a millennial. And she says she does not agree with. Does not identify.
She does not identify as a millennial and agrees with my new categorization.
Which was so long ago, I don't remember what it was.
It was me saying that people that were born in the 80s are just like Generation Y or the MTV generation,
okay.
And that anybody born after the 90s is millennials.
Until they come up with.
All right, Foley artist, enough. Oh!
You haven't said that in a long time.
I think that's a drink there.
I think I missed that.
All right, so
Should
we
I climb
finally got to that email.
We did finally get to that email.
I don't want. I want people to be encouraged to write us emails,
Yes.
and I don't want to ignore their emails.
I don't want to ignore their emails either.
Yeah, unless they're terrible and written by people that are bad, and that was definitely
that was not one.
That was not. That was very intelligently written.
Although there is one from
and
Brian,
there was fun acting for us to do.
Yes.
While I changed my accent every 5 seconds.
I wrote a play where that happened once.
Someone was changing to be Irish and then Australian.
Well, they kept changing their accent because this one person had done that. I don't know if it was in a scene with me in an acting class or in an audition I saw, and she just couldn't hold her accent. And I wrote a character making fun of that because I'm an asshole. And maybe that's why I didn't even get nominated for an award for my apparently best of my career performance. From last year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Those awards in that area where I acted were held this past week, and nobody from my show was nominated, and nothing from our show was. And we weren't alone. There were a bunch of things, really kind of like marquee things from that area for the past season that were not honored at all. And
you know what? Tell them to go fuck themselves.
I think it all has to do with me making fun of somebody for not keeping their accent straight. So I'm not going to make fun of you. And that was
you should make fun of me for doing that.
That was like 20 years ago. I did that, and I'm still paying for it now. So
I made fun of me for doing that.
I'm not going to make fun of you for screwing up your accent.
Buffy, I'm the Australian guy.
Can you do Wolverine?
No, he doesn't do an Australian accent.
What's funny is if you
let's go, bub.
Prior to the X-Men. The one cartoon they made was like a pilot for an X-Men animated series that never happened. It came out. Not that one. it played sometimes on Saturday mornings with like I don't no, not Spider-Man. It's Amazing Friend. Maybe that was. I don't know. It played with that series of cartoons. In that cartoon, they played Wolverine with an Australian accent. And yet they get an Aussie.
Isn't he Canadian?
He is. And yet they get an Aussie to play him in the movies, and he doesn't play him with an Aussie accent. He doesn't play him with a Canadian accent. He just plays him,
Well, a lot of voice actors are from Canada, so.
From Canada, yeah.
Or at least the folks from the Ocean
At least
group.
the good ones.
Yeah, all the good ones. Like,
all the good ones from
the
Canada.
the guys that did, Vegeta and Nappa from the original Dragon Ball Z series.
Yeah.
Man, I have no insults to the people that took over the dubbing job later on in the series, but that I can't wait to get my hands around those Dragon Balls. just
stellar talent there. Yes. Award-winning talent.
I think so.
So are you liking Buffy?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't, I would have
You would have stopped.
I would not be in season 2 right now.
Yeah. I heard is it the first one or the second one, or like I've heard it's a hard show to get into because it doesn't start strong, or maybe it starts strong and then it stumbles. Or
season 1 is very, very campy.
Okay.
There's a lot of there's a lot of times where I'll just look over at her and I'm like I'll be like, wow.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you go in with the attitude that this is campy and whatever, you'll enjoy it. If you go into the attitude looking for a Game of Thrones or a Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad or something like that,
Jon
then
Snow,
you're gonna be like, what the fuck is this garbage?
Yeah.
So it's campy, it's funny, just schlock.
Yeah. Okay. No meth labs.
No, there's no meth labs.
No Jon Snow.
This isn't like
this
isn't. I mean, it's intentionally funny. It's good. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I like it in its campiness, and occasionally there's just a terrible actress or actor in the series, and I'm just like, what the fuck is up with this?
How long? I would add it to my list, except that my Netflix list just continues to grow, and instead of watching the things on it, I watch things like Forrest Gump for like the 50th time.
Why? Like, I don't understand.
I like comfortable things. It's like a good comfortable pair of shoes. You can tell a lot about a person by their shoes. Where are they going? Where have they been?
Keep going. I want to hear the whole damn line.
I worn lots of shoes. If I think hard about it, I can remember my first pair of shoes. Mama said they'd take me anywhere.
He didn't close his eyes quite like that in the scene, I don't think.
He does. He screws up his eyes really. It's probably further along in the line, but he does. He closes his eyes to remember putting on the leg braces at the doctor's office, and they use that as a cut. So they cut between Tom Hanks closing his eyes to a little boy Forrest closing his eyes in the doctor's office. Wow. His legs are strong, Miss Gump. The strongest I ever seen.
All right, so that's enough about Forrest Gump.
It's a great film. It's a modern American classic.
When did it come out? Like 93?
93 or 94, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So like at that time I was what?
Too young to appreciate.
I was
Forrest
14
Gump.
or 15 years old.
The 2-year difference.
No, I mean I appreciated it back then, but like watching it now, it was it became. Because like this was when I was still under the misconception that Gary Sinise was a good actor.
Did that end with Apollo 13 or with
no? But like no, it ended with me growing up and watching the things that I like. We've talked about how my enjoyment of the Stand miniseries on several occasions.
Yes,
and him being the titular role.
What did you think of his role in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which you finally saw?
He was in The Winter Soldier?
His voice was.
Who was he?
It's funny to watch the credits. And I watched the credits the first time, and I think he's the very last credit, and it was like Gary Sinise, and I had to rewind. I was like, what?
Who was he?
He was the voice in the Smithsonian. So when Steve Rogers goes to the Smithsonian and he is looking at the exhibit on Captain America, you hear in the background, especially when Steve goes closer to the exhibit on Bucky, you hear him go,
Buggy?
Buffy Barnes, the Winter Soldier.
She's the Slayer.
The Winter Slayer.
The Winter Slayer.
Buffy Barnes, the Winter Slayer.
Yeah. That's the episode title.
Yeah. You can find the show notes for this episode.
Are we done?
We're done.
What else is on the list? We missed something.
The only thing we missed on the list was that I did some yard work yesterday, which was not that interesting. If you hadn't brought it up, it would.
That's fine. We can not talk about it.
We don't need to talk about it. That's why a couple minutes ago.
Hey, you remember that time we went to the Prudential Park?
No.
It was a Bob and Doug thing.
Oh, okay.
Because he says, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes, there's no need to talk about it then.
That's me stepping on your bits.
Well, if you own the bit, it's fine. You
yes,
don't need
and that's all I did.
Littering and.
Yeah, I just do. No, I looked at the list a couple minutes ago, and I was like, no, we don't have time. A, we don't have time to talk about yard work, and B, it's not that interesting. So I asked you a question about Buffy, which got us to the end. And I was just going to go, and then you're like, we
sorry, I fucked it up. I didn't know how long. No, you did tell me how long. You can find the show notes for this episode at whatever the website is.
clarkwiz.com/hot/93.
That's this episode.
93. That was the year Bill Clinton took office.
Was it? Mm-hmm. I'm not a crook.
No, I did not have sexual relations with this woman.
My wife, Hillary. I've never once.
Never once had sexual relations with this. Well, once. We do have a daughter.
We do have a daughter. Her name is Chelsea. She's about a little bit older than Chris and Steve, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's my Clinton. I'm channeling him by doing this.
Yeah, with the thumb. You got closer. It was a little bit Bush there for a second. A little bit W.
W.
A little bit W. He loves to play dress up. Oh, damn it.
Okay.
I saw a Patton Oswalt bit on YouTube yesterday, and it was hilarious. And at the whole time, I was like, "Oh."
We've been watching Community.
And did you get to his filibuster one? I have not seen that one, but that's why I want to watch Community. I want to watch Community not just for that episode though. I've heard it's a good show. I just want to.
I think you're talking about Parks and Rec.
Oh, that's right.
But he's a doctor in.
I was not intentionally being dumb that time.
He's a doctor in Community, so.
Oh, okay.
It was a very funny scene.
Man, guy's a funny guy.
You're a funny guy.
You're a funny guy. You can find me if you'd like to tweet at me about anything that any of the many things I've gotten wrong this episode. You can find me at ECC1977.
You can find me on the Twitter. I'm at Tuesday is Loser. That's Tuesday, IS Loser, all one word. Or you could follow my other Twitter account in which I tweet things about One Piece Treasure Cruise and
transponder snails.
All the transponder snails I find.
Yes.
And that's OPTC Spam 69 at OPTC Spam 69. So follow that one too if you want your feed cluttered up with pictures of One Piece.
And who doesn't? Let's be honest.
Especially the towel Nami, scandalous.
Send those pictures. Screenshot Steve's OPTC Spam 69 pictures and send them to us along with your
don't tell people to do that.
With your wonderful feedback on this episode about what a great job we did.
Stop saying great.
They're great. Send those emails to hot@clarkwoods.com. I had to get the email in there. I had forgotten the email before.
Hot@clarkwoods.com is how you can reach us via email, and we will, if not eventually, read your email. Unless it's terrible.
Yes. And we reserve the right to determine what's terrible and what's not.
If you write well or like concisely concisely funny, then you're definitely getting on here.
Yeah. Concisely is the
I mean, Becky's was lengthy, but it was
lengthy,
still
but
entertaining.
It was funny.
Yes, it was funny and it was entertaining. So you don't have to be concise, but if you are, we're more likely to read it at the end of the show.
I was just going to try to quote something from it, but we crumpled up the paper. I don't remember what any of it said. I was going to try to...
Blimey, Buffy, I want to bang you, sex robot. I mean, regular Buffy. Oh, no, shit. Off the rails.